A neighbor helps their neighbor during a house fire. A pet zebra is found after being missing for a week, and a monkey's spotted out in the wild in Florida. Fox 5 anchor Courtney Bryant joining us now with what's making headlines across America.
Yeah, hey Christine, we'll start out on the West Coast, where in San Diego, just off the coast, a plane carrying 6 people crashed into the Pacific. The Coast Guard says the plane was located about 3 miles offshore. Teams searched the debris field before declaring all 6 passengers dead. The FAA says the plane was headed to Phoenix, Arizona, but was struggling to maintain altitude before the crash. The FAA and the NTSB are now investigating. This is the moment a Florida man rushed to get help to get his neighbor and her dog out of harm's way during a fire. Take a look at this. The video shows the flames bursting out of the woman's shed. The Seminole County Fire Department says her neighbor noticed smoke near her home on Wayside Drive and immediately called 911. In Tennessee, an adventurous zebra's time spent away from home came to an end after a local sheriff's office announced the runaway pet named Ed had been rescued safely. The announcement came after an 8-day search for the animal. Now, before this, Ed was spotted on May 31st crossing an interstate and was not seen until he was seen on a drone camera a week later. Wow. There's some monkey business going on in Lake County, Florida. A family got a surprise when they looked outside to see what looked like a monkey running along their fence. The homeowner thought she was going bananas when she first saw the animal. She's used to, I know. She says she's used to seeing wildlife on their Altoona farm, but never a monkey. The State Wildlife Commission says wild monkeys are not native to Florida, in case you're wondering, and they could carry diseases, so you want to be careful.
Yeah, of course. We're used to talking about alligators out of the state of Florida, right? But
that wouldn't be unusual.
Monkeys. Wow. All right, Courtney.
Very weird.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
A car plows into a Dollar Tree. A track athlete is disqualified over a celebration, and a bear in a tree brings a neighborhood together. Fox 5 anchor Courtney Bryant joining us now with what's making headlines across America.
Yeah, hey Christine, we will start in Nashville, Tennessee, where a massive fire broke out in the parking garage of a public library. It happened early this morning. Heavy flames tore through the 4th and 5th floors of the garage, causing a partial collapse of a ramp leading to the 5th floor. Many cars were damaged, and a nearby hotel was temporarily evacuated. Local officials say no one was hurt, and the cause is still under investigation. Chaos caught on camera as a driver crashed into a Dollar Tree in Delaware Saturday, injuring 2 people. You can see the debris left everywhere as the car plowed through, finally stopping at the back of the business. Police say a 97-year-old woman was hit by the car and was flown to a hospital. Another woman was hit by falling debris. The female driver was also taken to the hospital. Police are still trying to figure out why the crash happened. In California, a high school track star is going viral after her celebration cost her a record-setting win. Clara Adams set a record with her win in the 400-meter race and proceeded to spray her cleats with a fire extinguisher in celebration. Officials called it unsportsmanlike conduct and disqualified her from the event. Adams expressed frustration, saying she deserved to celebrate her victory. A community in Virginia has come together after a bear got stuck in a tree. When the bear was seen in a neighbor's yard, local wildlife officials were notified. The bear drew a crowd as it waited in the tree. People in the neighborhood even nicknamed the bear Eldon after one of the cross streets where he was found. Eldon later came down and did make a run for it, but was quickly tranquilized. He was then taken to the Shenandoah area so he could freely climb trees and just be a bear, you know?
Eldon, huh?
Eldon.
Doesn't scream cute bear to me.
Does it? I mean, no. What name would you have in mind?
I don't know. Fuzzy? I don't know. Fuzzy Wuzzy? I don't know.
Isn't that like the bear from the Muppets? Fuzzy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that might be a good name for a bear.
Thanks, Courtney. A big snake sneaks its way into a truck. A woman is rescued from a burning car, and a DoorDasher makes their way onto the tarmac at an airport. Fox 5 anchor Courtney Bryant joins us now with what's making headlines across America today, Courtney.
Yeah, we'll get to those stories in a minute, but we'll start with this. A cruise ship was pulled into Port Canaveral, and a large panel of glass fell from a restaurant window, shattering onto the deck below. The witness who took this video saw a Royal Caribbean crew member race downstairs to alert those on the pool deck to get out of the way. Moments later, the outer panel fell. The witness tells us a few people were scratched by glass, but otherwise there were no injuries. Caught on camera in North Texas, it's not your typical neighborhood nuisance. A 15-foot python made its way into someone's truck in Garland, Texas. By the time animal control got there, the animal had pushed its way into the engine and coiled underneath. We do know animal control officers safely captured and removed the snake. Officials say they discovered the animal was someone's pet as well.
Which one? Where's she at?
Over the weekend, Good Samaritans joined first responders to rescue a woman from a burning car in upstate New York. One of the first officers on scene passed a fire extinguisher to a nearby driver as he worked to get the woman out. The 68-year-old was brought to safety and taken to a nearby hospital. And take a look at this. New video shows a food delivery driver on the tarmac at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago. He was trying to deliver a meal to one of the terminals, but ended up on secured airport property instead. He was quickly surrounded by airport officers. Thankfully, they realized it was a mistake, and the driver was escorted off the airfield and was not arrested. Caught on camera, a Zoom court hearing goes off the rails when a judge realizes a mom is making a sandwich in court. This happened in Detroit last week. Now the mom is trying to smooth things over about what really happened. Jessica Dupnack from our sister station in Orlando spoke to that woman.
So when I called...
No, we can't talk at the same time.
Well, I apologize for being late. Excuse me.
Stop.
On the docket, PB&J. Yep, that's a jar of peanut butter front and center of a Zoom court hearing last week.
Whatever you're trying to prepare
I'm
now.
going to be my daughter.
36 District Court Judge Sean Perkins, apparently more of a ham and cheese sandwich kind of guy.
You gotta put your properly dressed on.
I am properly dressed. I have on a t-shirt. I am properly dressed.
Is that a robe?
Ironically, mom Asia Outerbridge is a fashion stylist, and this day in court, her style was a robe.
It was just a lot going on. I was having a mommy day.
She went viral after Metro Detroit News posted the clip on Instagram.
And I click on the video and I see the judge that I had, and I'm like, I see my robe and some peanut butter, and I'm like, oh my God.
That little angel is her daughter, 3-year-old Parker. She was sick, and that's why Asia said she was multitasking.
My daughter is sick. I had to keep her home from school. I'm just trying to feed her. That is it.
That's understandable, but you're in court.
Miss Outerbridge, I'm sorry that your daughter is sick. But again, you're in court, okay? And we're going to treat it as such.
Judge Perkins then booted Asia from the Zoom call.
I have on clothes. I have on clothes.
Fine, Miss
I have on
Outerbridge.
clothes. I have on clothes.
She was there in the first place for a misdemeanor for allegedly having an open alcohol container as a passenger, yes, passenger, in a car. The hearings for 36 District Court stream live on YouTube, opening up courtrooms like live theater to the masses.
It's not even COVID anymore. What are we doing here? Like, seriously. Like, let's put court back in the courtrooms.
She says she waited for hours in the Zoom waiting room and feels like the judge could have had some mercy on a single mom.
I owe the judge an apology. I could have came better prepared, and I could have handled it a lot better.
I mean, as a mom, I can understand doing 5 things at the same time, so...
Yeah, you're juggling a lot of things.
Yeah,
and then
making a sandwich, is that the worst thing? I mean, I can still listen while I'm making the sandwich.
That's right,
do
we're
it every day.
multitaskers, right, exactly. But I
Yeah.
guess that judge was not having it.
Yeah, not for it.
All right, Courtney, thanks so much. A toddler is rescued after jumping into the pool not once, but twice. A four-legged thief is caught on camera, and a police chase involving an ambulance. Fox 5 anchor Courtney Bryant combing all the stories making headlines across America today. Courtney.
Yeah, hey, Christine, we will begin in Texas, where storms and flooding turned deadly. 4 people were found dead after a vehicle was swept away by floodwaters in San Antonio. Witnesses say they saw several cars being washed away this morning. At least 13 cars were found submerged across the city. 2 men and 2 women are confirmed dead. Several others were rescued and taken to area hospitals. Police are now searching for any other victims that may be unaccounted for. And now to a wild scene in Houston, where an ambulance chase is caught on camera. Police say the man stole an ambulance from a hospital and led officers on a chase throughout the city, riding on just the rims at one point. You can see all that smoke coming out from where that ambulance is. It came to a dramatic end when the suspect spun out and crashed into a tree. Police say he stole the ambulance while firefighters were transferring a patient inside a hospital. Luckily, no one was seriously hurt. In Arizona, a family is gifted a pool fence after their toddler jumped in the pool twice. You can see them all outside, and my goodness, he's just so quick. He just jumps right in the water. I mean, thank goodness they were watching him do it, but I mean, he just went for it. You can see the adults going and getting him out after he jumped in the second time. The family says the pool fence is extremely helpful. One thief is caught red-pawed in Idaho. A man left a birthday gift for his neighbor on the side table and came back to find it ripped up. He had a home security camera to catch the culprit. His puppy found a creative way to get up on the counter and rip it open.
Very resourceful.
Yeah, he got his paws on the prize. So cute.
Must have been a good gift if the Dachshund went through all that to get on the table.
Yes, I agree.
Oh my, all
he
right.
wanted it, that's for sure.
Thanks, Courtney.
Yeah.
Well, look, anchor Courtney Bryant joining us now with stories across America today.
Yeah,
Courtney.
hey, Christine, we'll start out in Kentucky, where a semi-truck crashed on the highway there and caught fire. It happened Friday morning in downtown Louisville. The semi was not transporting anything when it crashed. There's no word on what caused the crash, but take a look. It actually fell off the interstate. The crash is under investigation. Thieves smashed their way into a laundromat in Prince George's County in Maryland. Once inside, the suspects got into an office and pushed the safe out to a waiting SUV. The thieves got away with more than $1,000 and several other items. The owners say they've upgraded security with new windows and doors and now keep minimal cash on hand. And take a look at this video showing 3 adults and 4 small kids approaching a bison at Yellowstone National Park. The couple that reported this video says there were plenty of signs to remind people not to get close, and thankfully no one was hurt. You gotta be really respectful when it comes to
I was gonna say,
wildlife, especially at a national park.
From a distance, it's nice to see, right? I mean, you don't have to get that close to enjoy it.
You've seen it.
Stay
You've
far back,
experienced.
right?
Yeah.
All right, Courtney, thanks so much.
Yeah.